currency.
Like a couple Bitcoins.
Money,
Pull up on my Nakamoto.
Hello, welcome to the Blockchain Dynamic Show.
Hello out there.
My name is Brandon Doach.
And I am Woody.
We're here, we're back. It's not financial advice.
It has never, ever been financial
It's
advice.
not financial advice, in case you were wondering. But
It's less financial advice than ever now.
it's so true. But we're happy. We're happy to be back. When was the last show? Do you remember? Like November.
Yep, in November. It's written down here somewhere, actually. But we weren't... I've got it written down lower. November 5th.
November 5th.
Yep.
We're glad to be back. It was good to take a break. The whole game was getting a little crazy, but we're back. Happy to be back.
Yep, definitely really excited to be back. And yep, when we took a break, Bitcoin was going through a pretty insane phase. And what else can we say?
So true. So we're going to mix up the show a little bit in our return. Essentially, we're going to drop ICO coverage in general. It's just too much bullshit out there.
Yep.
ICOs are out. So we're mostly going to talk about what we really like to do, which is like new coins, new proof of work stuff. Yeah, that'll be pretty much it.
And anything else that catches our interest.
Yeah, or the classic news items, exchange listings, goofy crypto events.
That is right.
Alrighty, so here we are. The trivia question. We had a running trivia question. Of course, it's our duty to fill you in on the last trivia question from last time.
Yeah, why not?
The question was, the coin was swapped from greed, and eventually itself was swapped into swing coin. Which coin was it? The answer, of course, on that one is greed evolved.
Yep.
Somebody won that. I don't remember.
It was so long ago now.
It was a long time ago, but congratulations to whoever won those.
Yep.
Dots coins.
And we're not doing a trivia question this week, but we thought it might be fun if anybody wanted to sponsor a trivia giveaway, then they could get a hold of us with some random coin, and we could probably put that together.
Yeah, definitely. All right, here we go. Let's jump into it. Get back in the swing of things here. Going to kick it off, as usual, with a little bit of news.
Some news.
Keep everyone fresh on the news here. Good little bit of news this week. We got the Bitcoin roundabout in Slovenia.
Some people probably saw a picture of that nice roundabout monument.
I thought it was cool, man. This is I don't know, I just think it's exciting. I'm glad that people are bothering to put stuff like that together.
Yeah. Sponsored by Bitstamp, partially, which is a Slovenian company.
Right, and also 3FS, which is another Slovenian tech company. So yeah, really cool. Kudos to those guys.
Nice pictures of the ceremony out there, or the ribbon cutting little ceremony, what they did.
Also, we got in the news this week. This was a couple weeks ago, right? That the Binance. We're talking about the Binance, sort of a hack thing. It was like a phishing scam where they got API keys. Right.
We saw the same type of incident on Bittrex last year with Rubycoin.
It was Poloniex, I think. And there's there was a misconception about it. I think that it was like the Rubycoin bot that did it, but my understanding is that it was a different bot that people had been using their API keys in, and it just happened to use Rubycoin as the target coin kind of to do this exploit. But it's a kind of exploit that these guys will do if they get control of people's API keys or their logins, and they can do trades but not withdraw. They'll use all of these pooled API keys that they've got all at once and just do like an insane pump on one market, and they'll have coins out there obviously waiting. So they can't withdraw on those accounts, but they can just make money on the spread essentially.
Right.
Binance claims, this is interesting, they claim that the hackers didn't make any money.
Yeah, they stopped them.
Just stopped them cold?
That's what they claiming, right?
That's what they said. Yep. They say they lost money, actually.
Yeah.
Which I'd love to know how they calculated it, but
it's pretty badass. And then they immediately put out a bounty
right, I forgot.
To hunt down these guys.
What's the bounty in? How do they pay in the bounty out? Is that cash? Is that Bitcoin?
In there
is it BNB?
Yep. Yeah, $250,000 worth of BNB.
Oh man, that's incredible. What a future world that lives in. The exchange is issuing bounties in its own sub token to chase after
Yep.
People that are up to mischief.
Exactly. So they dealt with it really well compared to a lot of different exchange, just similar incidents that we've seen in the past.
Yeah,
basically.
really, really aggressive response. And it's really good to see that kind of thing because I think that a lot of these exploits and stuff can be detected, and the ability of the exchanges to react to those things kind of dynamically is good. One thing that I remember, you heard they said they reversed trades, right? Does that mean the people who made money like off of the high VIA sells, like the bystanders and stuff, who just had like VIA coin, did their trades get reversed too, or was it just like the hacker trades?
I don't know. I definitely didn't notice anybody complaining about like their random really high trades getting reversed or something like that.
It almost reminds me in that case of when the flash crash happened for Ethereum on GDAX. And they ended up just honoring all the trades and taking the hit or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like all the people it seems like all the people who made money because they had VIA coin, which happened to be the coin that got used to do this buy up.
Yeah. Well, and the accounts that were actually
fine.
being used maliciously were probably able to be identified in certain ways.
Right.
Too.
It's interesting though. Shows that I guess the good news is that the exchanges are being more proactive and kind of reacting to the kind of ubiquitous, ridiculous amount of hacks that are just going on all the time in crypto.
Yeah, there's been so much new activity exchange-wise and just interest in cryptocurrency since our last show in November. It's been really incredible, actually.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more. People just like, so many people, people jump into crypto, they have like no idea what they're getting into. And it's pretty cutthroat, and this kind of stuff is probably going to keep happening.
Another incident sort of related to exchange security or incidences in general was a Bitgrail one while we were gone, related to Nano.
Right. Did Bitgrail lose just Nano, or did their Bitcoin wallets get cleaned out? I don't remember.
Only Nano was affected somehow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it was the type of thing where the exchange felt like they didn't have responsibility, and of course the blockchain it is really super hard to claim that they have any responsibility since the software just works the way it works.
Right.
Regardless, one interesting piece of news that I thought was they're going to set up basically a token to refund the people that lost money in that attack.
So kind of like what Bitfinex did.
Yeah, really similar to that, with a token of their own design that they're going to buy back over some amount of time.
Yeah, it's tough if you're in the position like there. The problem is, in the crypto exchange game, there's so many exchanges out there right now, and the reputation is the biggest part of it. So to take a hit this big this early is it's a pretty tough situation for them to be in, and it's going to be hard for people to really want to use the platform, I think.
Yeah.
But again, the biggest thing in crypto is time. So if they can keep it together, people will forget it eventually. We also have short memories, notoriously short memories in crypto.
Right. Well, related to like exchange security or different things like that in short time frames, I just want to jump ahead a little bit here and look at Circle buying Poloniex. Right.
Yeah, that was really interesting. Really surprising news. I was happy to see it, just personally, just to have a little more, feels like a little institutional security in the market that was looking a little unstable for a while.
Yeah, could be interesting to see what types of changes that brings in any type of way. Nothing's changed yet, right?
Not that I know of. I haven't experienced any changes. I use Poloniex quite a bit still. I'm wondering, there's kind of a couple directions they can go with it. From what I've heard, or what it seems like I guess on the grapevine, I don't know, is that they're driving it towards wanting to be a securities regulated exchange. So they're going to dodge this whole, or I guess they're going to embrace the whole regulatory angle by saying, yes, we're trading securities here, and everyone's going through all the hoops that you need to jump through to do that.
Yeah. Show us which forms we need to fill out and how much money we need to send in, right?
So the question for me then, does that mean that they can trade like anything? Can they trade like any of these coins and keep all of their listings out there? Or because they're calling them securities, or then, are 90% of them going to fall afoul of some form of the regulation? So the question for me then is it going to be like a mass delisting type situation? Is it going to continue to be kind of the same, or just classical altcoin exchange that we're used to?
Should be interesting. It's definitely like one of the more mainstream companies getting directly involved in sort of an altcoin exchange, I'd say.
Yep. And it's good to see that somebody's going there because obviously Bittrex is going really hard on the angle that they're not going to trade securities, and they're delisting stuff all the time and kind of taking the argument that none of the stuff that's traded there is a security already. And so it's good to see somebody else playing the other side. So I guess everybody will have their options. And then we also have Robinhood getting into the exchange game.
Yep. Sure, people saw that that Robinhood stock app allowed people to start trading cryptocurrencies, but it's like on a really select invite list right now, so I haven't actually been able to try it out.
It's like abstracted and weird too, because you can't actually withdraw the cryptos, right?
I don't know if once you get invited into that one how you can, but on another one that we were going to talk about was the Circle Invest app,
right?
And you definitely can't withdraw or deposit any cryptos to that.
So it makes you wonder, like, is there ever actually a settlement on the trade? When does that happen? You know, it's weird.
I don't know, man. I think that I think they both basically are heavily invested in crypto and are already trading cryptocurrencies, and the liquidity in their trades is enough to give people that want to trade on their platforms access to that, to buying and selling Bitcoin. Like, right. The price is different for sure. When I was looking at the Circle Invest app that came out, the price was like $100 higher maybe for Bitcoin.
Okay.
And that's talking about all you can do is maybe hook your bank account up, send money there, buy Bitcoin, quote unquote, and then eventually maybe sell it back on their app and send it back to your bank account, I guess. You don't actually get any Bitcoin.
Right. You potentially just sell,
from my perspective,
something that you bought that was Bitcoin that is more or less than you paid for it at some time in the future.
Yeah. So I don't know.
So I'm used to the old school model where there's actually like the instant settlement. You can go and take your money off the exchange if you want to, like immediately. But
right.
The thing about like Robinhood is zero fee too, right? Alleged,
they both are. They both are.
Both are zero fee.
Yeah.
But if there's a markup, then who? Well,
right, exactly.
If the markup is consistent and the fee is still zero, then that doesn't necessarily make it impossible to trade. I don't know. I'm just curious. I'm so used to like the traditional crypto market where you have the order book and everything that we're used to. And it seems to me like Robinhood and Circle are more, when you're using it, it's more like the Coinbase app, where it's abstracted, where it's right. Like, bing bong, buy Bitcoin 2151, whatever the price is.
Yep.
And it's like it's a little different. Yep. And I'm curious to know how they're going to affect the market when they start trading at huge volumes and stuff.
Guess we'll see. It's kind of both a slow rollout, right?
You showed me the app, man, the chart. It's like flying through space.
Yeah, I showed Brandon the Robinhood app where you can view the charts for the cryptocurrencies without being able to trade them because I'm not in that list or whatever. But yeah, he's probably seen some of it. Looks very Tron-like.
It's true. Yeah, it's very futuristic, so you're going to love it.
Let's see. What else?
That's funny. What else we got? Google. We got Google. They are banning crypto-related advertisements.
Yep. This had to be a piece of news because Google is involved. But to be honest, I don't know when the last time I saw an advertisement was because I've been running an ad blocker for a decade or something, probably.
I see them on my phone sometimes still. They creep in there. Little ICOs.
Yeah.
Dumb ICOs and stuff. But this doesn't bother me at all, really.
Nope.
Doesn't really register for me. Go ahead, ban them.
It kind of, when you look at the list of things that they ban, it kind of makes sense to ban ICOs in general. Like, they don't really have a better response right now. What are they supposed to do? Screen every single crypto ICO for whether or not it's what it appears to be in their ad?
It's hopeless. Hopeless effort.
They don't want mail order brides, and they don't want cryptocurrency advertisements.
Mail order brides are out. That's funny. I should go check out that list. That's funny. Alrighty, there you have it. I think that's going to wrap it up there for the news. What are we doing next here?
Going to just talk about the markets a little bit. I mean, it's been a long time, obviously. Like we mentioned at the very beginning of the show, our last one was on November 5th, 2017, before we took a break. At that time, the Bitcoin price was trading at 6,192. And so that's funny to think back to.
Right, today we're at 77,940 right now. Looks like it's going up.
Yeah.
On the 1 minute chart, it's going up. But
Yeah, another amazing 1 minute breakout for Bitcoin.
So, all right. So there you have it. It was 61.92 on November 5, 79.48 right now. It's a little something called natural growth. you might have heard of.
Yeah, we were kind of joking around that if you completely ignore the chart between the last two blockchain dynamics shows, it doesn't look so bad.
Yeah, it's just totally normal. It's fine. We're fine. Everything's fine.
However, if you don't ignore the actual chart, while we took a break, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general saw like the most media coverage they'd ever seen. So many mainstream crossovers getting posted and different things like that.
It's a little something I like to call a coin frenzy.
Yeah.
It was like a global coin frenzy. It's unbelievable.
The all-time high came to right below $20,000 before kind of cruising back down in an expectable way to where we are today.
And then alts had their all-time high a little later. Bitcoin was at like 19K or whatever, crashed down to 9K in a couple of days, really fast. Bounces back to like 17K, and everyone's like, we're fine. Right? That's like, in hindsight, it's like the obvious bull trap or whatever, but everyone's like, we're fine. That's when alts hit the peak, right? Remember, that's when everything on Cryptopia pumped. It was crazy. It was crazy. I've never seen, there's no way to, it's funny to think now on how preposterous like the December, early January markets were.
Yeah.
Because at the time we'd been so like almost beaten over the head with the insane bull markets that it like started to seem normal what was happening, but in hindsight it was just unreal.
Yeah, we saw some lots of coins reaching all-time highs basically in 2018.
And it was like it didn't have to make sense. It would be like this coin, it's a low Satoshi value coin. Everything that had a low Satoshi value pump because people are like, it's only one Satoshi.
Right. There was a phase of low Satoshi coins just getting pumped for a second there on Cryptopia and stuff.
Great. It was awesome. So yeah, a bit of just a shit show. It was awesome. Good stuff.
And the volume kind of just disappeared immediately, like tends to happen.
Yeah, all the exchanges shut their doors. Everyone got like really scared all at once. Everyone's like, oh my God, we've taken it too far. And so everyone's closing registrations. Everybody's trying to like spill out into the smaller exchanges, but they can't scale up.
Yep.
And then kind of it's just like all the steam goes out of the market, and then people start to get scared. And now, as I'm sure everybody who's listening knows, alts have been on this like just super aggressive downtrend in the past, really driving it home a lot in the past couple of weeks even. But
yeah,
but it is what it is. Again, looking back to November, it's like not really much different essentially.
Right.
But good stuff. What's some fun stuff that's happened? Cryptopia ended up having to drop their Litecoin and Doge base pair markets.
Yeah, those were actually starting to get popular. And I think that led to there just being too much overload on those that system that was probably running all of it simultaneously.
Yeah, Cryptopia, like all the others, they were hitting major scaling hiccups, like especially towards the end of last year.
Yeah.
And so they decided to cut those markets. Some of that has shifted to some of the even smaller exchanges. There's so many exchanges now. It's crazy.
Yep. Trade Satoshi has some Litecoin Doge trading going on, but nowhere near what Cryptopia had.
Yep.
And definitely doesn't have the probably ability to scale up to handle it. So
Coin Exchange has added. I know Coin Exchange has added the alternate base pairs. I think even Yobit added alternate base pairs.
Oh yeah, Yobit definitely has some.
Coin
Exchange is a good option too.
Not recommending Yobit, just to be clear.
But Litecoin just doesn't have the volume. It felt like it was almost about to be a well-traded base pair there for a half a second.
Right. It flew a little too close to the sun, maybe. We lost our Litecoin base pairs. We miss them. But all right, what else is going on? Z Classic has done like 18 snapshot pumps. How many times?
Right.
They snapped it and pumped it, dumped it. It's awesome.
Yep, and the last one was Bitcoin Private, which was pretty amazing.
Yeah, apparently I had a tiny bit of Bitcoin and got a minuscule amount of Bitcoin Private on Trade Satoshi, but that was it.
Nice.
I haven't been trying to hit the snapshot game too much lately.
Well, it hasn't been too... there's only ones that are worth hitting, probably.
So
Although,
true.
probably if you had left some Bitcoin on Yobit, it would have been multiplied many times by now, just by all the stupid snapshots they've been taking.
So, I don't think... Has Bittrex opened up the registrations yet? I don't think they have.
No idea.
It's got to be quiet out there for people. I don't know what they're doing. Cryptopia has registrations now. I wonder who. Coin Exchange, obviously. Binance. I guess Binance really has grown a lot in prominence, but they trade so many just random-ass tokens.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what's been happening, I guess, since we have left. But really, crypto keeps on keeping on. One of the cool things that's changed since last year, since we stopped doing the show, is that a lot of the new coins had been like really awful for a really long time. Just like uninteresting, really derivative, almost entirely just like cash grab ICOs and stuff.
Yep.
Really for a long time. And that has kind of turned around, especially in 2018. And that is one thing that we are excited about.
Yep, we're always interested in those new coins, checking them out.
And it's a really good thing in the bear market, essentially. You're probably going to have a lot less opportunity to make money doing anything. I mean, it's easier to make money doing anything in a bull market, right? That's pretty obvious. So mining and new coin speculation, that kind of stuff, can often be a nice refuge because a lot of the profitability windows and stuff are shorter. You can build positions from a safer footing that way.
So we figured we'd take a look at a couple coin projects that we know a little bit about, and then we'd take a look at the new coins like we love to do, as you remember.
Yeah, we're going to get that new coin reviews, bringing them back. Love the new coins. So yeah, we got a big queue of upcoming coins to look at, so we're going to kind of go through them on a week-to-week basis. We'll grab a couple. Try
to not run out of coins that we actually are interested in talking about too quickly.
Yeah, there's only so many coins, so if we run out of stuff, then I guess we'll wait for more coins, right?
Right.
So yeah, on the list of things that are coming up in future shows, we're going to talk about like Haven, IPBC, some of the new community coins. You got your Garlic, your Turtles, fun stuff.
Yep, it's like the game has not changed from what I can tell.
It's true, man. It's just this time period is really reminiscent to 2014, and people will make the comparison a lot. And you don't want to go too deep into the rabbit hole of just thinking that the history is going to repeat itself identically. But in terms of a lot of money rushing out of the market, well, kind of people try to make it. Some people try to make it back, I guess, with new projects and stuff, or just new projects in general. Like it seems like there's a burst. You get that burst of interest of everybody in 2017 of everybody jumping on board. Well, the market moves like way faster than the time it takes for anybody to actually act on any kind of reasonable idea, right?
Right.
So all these people that jump into the game and are kind of like, oh, I want to start a project, or all these people who might have had projects kind of in their head for a long time are going to be like, oh, shit, maybe this is my time to go. By the time they actually get it ready, it's like, oh, shit, I'm 4 months into a crazy bear market. But
right, well, for some people that probably are interested in Bitcoin, whether it's as an investment or as something else, like if you watched that price go up as quick as it did, and then, it's against your common sense to basically be buying a bunch of it at that point in a certain way, right?
Right, yeah.
Nobody's going to feel bad for you, and it is what it is at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
There wasn't very much time that you could have even bought Bitcoin for a higher price than it is today, historically.
Right, exactly. If you threw a dartboard at the Bitcoin price, the window of time that it was over $8,000 is really short.
Right.
Which is interesting. But then you think about, okay, so the amount of time that people have had to buy Bitcoin over 8,000 is really short. Of all of the money that's been put into Bitcoin in the past 10 years or whatever, what percentage of it was put into the market during that tiny window, And how little Bitcoin did they get for that money?
Certainly a lot less Bitcoin than the people that put a lot of money in at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. And it kind of makes it easy to understand why a bear market happens and why it could happen for a long time.
Right. And it could see spikes again, too.
Yeah, for sure. Or, yeah, I mean, like, it could turn around at any moment. I am kind of a believer. I'm like the 2018 bear believer, I guess, but I'm also not like somebody who's going to be super surprised if I'm wrong. I'm really used to being wrong about stuff.
That's part of the game, for sure.
Yep. All right, yeah, good stuff. So really excited to see where Bitcoin goes this year and see what happens with alts as well.
So I guess one of the coins that we wanted to talk about is called ARO.
Arionum.
Yep.
Arionum. So the big question with Arionum, Woody, do you think that over time, the amount of people that just call it Eronium because it's easier to say, is it going to overtake the actual original name of the coin?
Yes.
Nice. Excellent.
No, I don't know.
So Arrow, why do we like this coin? I guess this is a new coin. It came out January 7th, so it came out pretty early this year. The premise of it is that it's another ground-up rewrite blockchain style coin. So we've seen this before with, for instance, Pascal was like, oh, we're going to make a new coin with written in Pascal. Bismuth is like, we made a new coin, it's written in Python.
Right.
Eronium is like, this is the new coin, it's written in PHP.
Yep.
And so the angle there that they're playing is that it'll have easy web integration, basically. Really easy to build apps off of it because it's PHP, something that people have been using to build apps for a long time.
Yep, and they had a pretty successful launch that allowed some small CPU mining to be successful at the beginning too, which I think is helpful for bringing people into mining in general.
Yeah, they hit pretty early in the year, and I don't think people were quite... people were still in the 2017 mindset and didn't have their eyes quite as out for a lot of the new mining coins. So there was a pretty good period where not very many people were on it. I came onto this one I didn't discover it till a couple of weeks, I think, after it had launched.
And you started doing some cloud mining on it with CPUs, right?
Yeah, when it came out, the net hash was still really low, and you could run Amazon web servers for basically cheaper than the OTC price was. Which, not that I actually sold any of it OTC, but it's just a good way to. Usually, if I see something like that where the mining price is way lower than the rate, I'll just mine some, and unless I really have an urgent need to sell it, I'll hold on to it and wait for a actual market or whatever. But it's fun. It's a fun way to trade.
What's some other stuff about the coin that you know?
Let's see. It's a long proof of work. The block halving is going to be around 3.5 to 4 years. I think people are really, as always with long proof of work, I guess people underestimate just how long the distribution period is going to be. So everyone gets real hyped up about it at first.
Yeah.
But then it usually, historically we know that it can take...
Zcash syndrome.
Yeah, exactly, totally. Total Zcash syndrome. It can take years for these to pump. There's always the chance that they take off in a shorter time frame, which is why people tend to get excited about them right away. But as far as the project itself, it's the ground-up thing, the PHP, like I said. As far as the coin goes, I got the wallet, obviously. It's in a pretty good state of development. I would say, compared to early Bismuth, it's maybe more well-developed than early Bismuth, but maybe, as far as the client, maybe less functional than the early Pascal coin client.
Nice.
If I'm going to do a comparison on them. That said, I haven't fired up the client in a month or two, and on a coin this new, that can be a real... things move really fast.
I used the command line client.
Yeah, that's what I've been using as well.
Yeah. There's some other client too, though, right? Like a different interface, maybe a front end or something.
They do. They have a light client, which I really appreciate when people. It's some of the stuff they came out with as far as the category are actually really good. They came out with soft pool mining immediately, so everybody could mine on the pool, and everybody did mine on the same pool for a long time, which is really cool because you can see the distribution, get a really good sense of it right away. Let's see.
So where's it at now? Just GPU mining and difficulties kind of leveled out against the OTC price?
It started out CPU only, and that was kind of part of the pitch, is that it was going to be a CPU only coin. And then a community member actually was able to develop a GPU miner for that algorithm about a month after the launch. And that was a big stink, but they ended
People
up...
shouldn't be surprised, though. That happens every time so far.
Oh, yeah. It's totally par for the course. Happens all the time. But they did a fork. They did a hard fork to harden the algorithm against GPU. And for now, at least, they actually struck a really nice balance where you can GPU mine it, but it's not profitable.
Oh, that's nice.
It's not super profitable to harvest it out, but you can still GPU mine it or CPU mine it, that's a fine balance to draw with a coin. If they can keep it, it's going to be a really good spot for them. But typically, the evolution of the mining game will drive it in one direction or the other.
Well, because I guess what we've witnessed in the last little while is that if the mining becomes difficult and profitable enough, then people will just make chips for it.
Right, yeah, and they'll just drop an ASIC, and then people might try to fork to get rid of the ASIC. It becomes a whole big stink. Arrow's cool, though. One thing I'm seeing with coins right now that does really remind me of 2014 is all the coins have Discord channels, and you can hop in. and it'll just be, it'll remind you of what you're used to. People talking about the coin, a little bit of trading, a lot
Will
of
remind
mining.
me of my IRC days.
Yeah, it will. It does. It totally reminds you of the IRC days, man. It's good.
Nice.
So yeah, there's a lot of traffic in these channels and stuff that's going on right now. I think it's a good way to get in, kind of get in on like a ground level of cryptos and stuff, is to check out some of these new coin discords and see what people are up to.
Cool.
Of course, there's scammers running around too, but
Oh yeah, gotta always be careful out there.
those darn scammers.
But if you could send me like 0.5 F, I could send you 10, Brandon.
yeah, no, you'll just help Dev in need. 0.5 F.
Another coin that we wanted to, it's not actually a coin, but a project that I wanted to talk about a little bit is called AKASHA. And it's, I think we've talked about it maybe once a little bit on the show, but I hadn't ever played with it.
Right.
And I have now, and it's in a beta state. And it's a application that runs on the Ethereum testnet, and it uses the IPFS as part of its system as well. Essentially, the idea is something kind of like Twitter, or kind of like Steam, just another social network, right?
It reminded me a lot of Steam at first when you first showed it to me, but the interface is a lot like TweetDeck, right?
Yeah, but it's a
Like
lot
the Twitter
similar with the columns and being able to just sort of add in things with different tags into those columns, I guess.
Right. The website, it's akasha.world.
Yep.
Yeah, it does look a lot like Steemit, especially in the early days with like the kind of content that people are posting. It's like, hi, my name is Jimbus. Welcome to Akasha or whatever. And then you wonder, is that a robot?
Yeah.
That's part of the fun, though.
It's kind of fun, though. You can go on there and you can get some test. They'll just send you some test Ethereum when you ask for it, and then you can use that. The way that you use it is a little bit complicated, to be honest, inside of the application. I don't understand the point of all of the different sort of sub tokens or values inside of everything.
All right, so what we got? We've got the different tokens we have in here. You got your essence.
Yep.
You got your karma.
Yeah.
You got your mana.
Yeah, that's right.
You're going to stack these up. That's funny. It does, but remember how convoluted is Steam? It's still pretty convoluted, right?
A little bit.
I recall it being a pretty convoluted.
It's a little bit confusing.
You had your Steam and your Steam Power, and you cashed them out for your Steam back dollars.
Yeah,
it's all. I guess the name of the game, if you're going to do a crypto social network, is like, how many internal tokens can you create, and what's the most complicated Rube Goldberg connection that you can craft between them?
But at the base of it, it's kind of what you'd expect. You just like Steam, you upvote things and get points for upvoting things that get upvoted, as well as submitting content that gets upvoted.
So basically, it's kind of the same reward structure.
Pretty much, it seems like. And since it's on the testnet, they don't have an actual token, and they've been talking about whether or not they would do a crowd sale or something eventually, and it seems undecided. But one thing that they noted is that if they were to do one, it would be possible that they would only allow keys that were created in the beta to participate.
So it's like testnet only.
Mm-hmm. So for people that are interested in that type of project, then it's probably worth at least just creating a beta key.
It really does look a lot like the early Steam content type system. So I'll give them credit for that. Really pretty polished product for the level of development that they're at, I think.
I think it'd be really similar to compare it to Steam built on Ethereum instead of BitShares.
Right. Yeah.
That's what Steam would be like. So cool.
All right, sweet. Nailed it.
Next up, we're going to talk about some newer coins.
New coins. We love new coins. They're back. New coins are back.
Yep. You got to dig. You still got to dig.
Oh, yeah. It's weedier than ever. I've noticed, just the faintest glimmer of moderation on Bitcoin talk lately. They're kind of trying.
They made a new section for tokens.
It's like I'm noticing some new stickies. They're trying to curb the tide of just
amazing,
insane crap posts. But yeah, we're finding a lot more stuff to look at than we had in recent days.
Let's take a look at a few different things.
So you're looking at new coins these days. What you're mostly going to see is really low effort ICO and just crap spam and scam posts, as usual. The good stuff.
Nothing's changed.
But you're also going to see, as far as actual coins, most of them are these. They're like masternode clones, where they do an auction. They're like auctioning off masternodes as if that's like a good way to do business.
It's just like an ICO.
Yeah, another way to do an ICO, essentially. Pointless. And then, they're just buying their own masternodes. It's like...
Yep,
absurd.
it has that same problem that all ICOs have, which is the creator can just give themselves an unlimited amount of the token for free.
There's a ton of airdrops, like really low effort airdrops, where they'll like pre-mine 80% of the coin and give away 50% or something, but it's kind of still not very good. So there's a lot of that stuff out there. We're going to basically skip all the super low effort or really generic, kind of uninteresting stuff, and try to just look at interesting and or funny.
Keep it light, have a good time.
Yeah, if it's funny, you can get into the list. If it's just a generic clone, you're out. All right, so that's our new coin disclaimer there. We love those new coins, and we got a good little list here. First up on the list, Wownero.
Nice.
Wow, Nero. I was confused. I was like, wow, Nero. Like the emperor at first. I was confused. But
so this is in the vein, a fork of Monero that is more community focused, right? Just a small...
It's a Dojified Monero.
Yep.
Which on its face is not, I'm going to say, a super appealing premise, but sometimes you look at a coin and it's like it's a little bit higher effort than you would expect for what it is. It seems like I can't vouch for the dev team by any means, but it's like it's all just memes and shit, but it's funny stuff. Look at this.
Yeah, it looks like it could be a fun time.
Fiddlick of Uterine. I don't know. It's going to be funny.
So it had a delayed launch?
Yeah, they were going to launch it. Monero's got this thing going on now where Bitmain came out with an ASIC for CryptoNight, the algorithm. And so Monero is going to do a hard fork to have it not be mineable by CryptoNight anymore, obviously. And so Wownero, they're delaying the launch until Monero settles their algorithm thing.
Then they'll probably use that new code.
Yeah, they'll use whatever that Monero had settled with.
They don't want the support of a brand new ASIC on their chain? What the heck?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. So now you got to wonder who's going to come out, who's going to take the CryptoNight mantle. That's one of the other categories of new coins that we didn't mention earlier, that there's just like a shitload of these days. And it's all the CryptoNight clones.
There's been one a week for the last 2 years.
They cranked it up. I think there's like 4 or 5 a week at this point.
Jeez Louise.
They turned it up. There's a lot. So anyway, yeah, Wownero's coming out. As far as the CryptoNight game goes, it'll be fun.
Cool.
People are going to jump
Keep an eye on it, see if it comes out.
It's going to be like the POW situation where people are going to take it too far too early, but you be cognizant of it and kind of bide your time, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's see, what do we got here? That's Wownero.
Up next is CleanBlockChain.
CleanBlockChain.
This...
You're going to love it.
It seems like the main selling point here is that they are not under Satoshi Nakamoto's thumb.
Yeah, they are.
Is what they're claiming.
Okay, CleanBlockChain is a coin for people who are tired of kind of being crushed under the tyrannical rule of Satoshi Nakamoto. So they came up with a Bitcoin fork that gets rid of the Satoshi coins, basically, is the theme there. But the way they protect it is it's a Bitcoin spinoff which protects the holders from Satoshi Nakamoto and revives the economy. So yeah, I think that's going to be
funny. It's
going to be a tough sell in crypto. I think Satoshi's got a pretty good rep usually.
Yeah.
Or
I haven't heard anyone complaining about any of his input.
It's easy to have a good rep when you're anonymous and disappeared. Okay. Yeah, CleanBlockChain. So if you want a Bitcoin fork,
or look at just a kind of a funny announcement. Another kind of funny one is Flurbos.
This made the cut here. This one falls into the like shitty CryptoNight category. It's got a big pre-mine. But it's like the 15th Rick and Morty coin that's come out now, which is funny.
People are just loving copying these CryptoNight coins, huh?
They're driving it into the ground. Maybe someone must have come up with like an easy fork package for Monero or something. Flurbos.
Woo-wee.
So yeah, there's been a bunch of these. What there's like Sancheesium. I don't know what they come up with it. Get your Flurbos.
I don't know. At this point, these are like difficult to get listed anywhere. Honestly.
Yeah, that's one of the dynamics that's changed. Like a lot of these new coins that we look at, they don't trade anywhere. It's almost like an intellectual. It's like an intellectual exercise. It's the idea of a coin. I feel like it'll. They can end up on like the weirdest exchange you've ever seen.
Right.
Like, welcome to Monkey X. We denominated 1/10,000th of a Satoshi minimum interval.
Right.
15 zeros before the 1.
Well, I don't know. These guys, the part that they're missing about like a joke coin is you need some funny graphics or something.
Yeah.
I'll maybe keep an eye open.
They got a lot of links here, but you're really spot on the weak graphics game. Yeah, the website.
It's got to be, if it's going to be fun, it's got to be fun.
Website doesn't have graphics either. Flurbo, you're out. What's next? Kingston, KGX. All right. What's interesting about Kingston here? They announced it like 24 times. If going through the Bitcoin talk is correct,
spamming it up, huh?
Well, so to their credit, it's a pre-announcement, right? And I got to give props to anyone who goes through with the pre-announcement. And so, if you want to repost it a couple times in a pre-announcement, I can give you some leeway. What's the deal with Kingston, though? So it has a C11 algorithm. I guess that's probably how it made the cut. Different algorithm.
Nice.
There's been a couple this week with the C11. I think it's just a rearrangement of, you take the X11, rearrange it.
Okay.
I think that gets you a C11. Not 100% on that. So I don't know if they're
Looks
the
like
first
they've got
one.
some masternode plans are already implemented, one or the other.
Yeah, so this is when the masternode stuff, it gets to be the whole masternode thing is they're taking it too far, right? So you look at Kingston, you're like, oh, Kingston, this is cool. 1% pre-mine, that's fine. So 1% of 28 million was like 288,000. The masternode collateral 5,000. All right. So you go to the block rewards. You're like, all right, block rewards. Block 2 to 3,000 is 1 Kingston. And there's no masternodes that turn on. And then at block 2,800, the masternode reward kicks on. And it's like 50% goes to the masternode. Well, at block 2,800, there's only been 2,800 coins that have been mined, right? But the masternode collateral is 5,000. The pre-mine's like 250,000 or whatever I said earlier, right? How could you have masternode rewards when the only people that have the collateral for the masternode is the developers? It's just a little silly. Essentially, people just kind of throw the masternode numbers around like they don't mean anything, and they kind of make this up like, oh my god, we got 85% masternode rewards on this coin. It's like, well, if you've got 85% of the reward of your coin going to masternodes, that means only 15% of the reward is going to the people that actually like secure the chain. And so you're essentially just making it like 6 times cheaper for someone to fuck with your chain. Grumble. That's my grumble of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, I feel like if you're taking your masternode reward over 50%, it's like way too far.
Interesting.
Anyway,
got a few pools at least.
But yeah, they did get it launched. So it's going.
Cool.
Kingston.
Another one out there is Struena.
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 Struena. Struena. All right, so this is an Ethereum clone.
Yeah. This one's a little confusing because they talk about masternodes, but really seem to be an Ethereum clone.
It is. It's definitely an Ethereum clone. And so the way that they have the block reward structured here, there's 10 coins per block, 8 coins for miners, 1 coin for masternodes, 1 coin for their dev and foundation.
Gotcha.
So going back to my rant earlier about Kingston, I do like that it's like, miners 8, masternodes 1 kind of reflects a more, like a reasonable balance, I guess, or whatever, but...
Well, in this case, there are no masternodes.
But yeah, the masternodes in this case are fictional. Maybe they might. That said, I'm not saying that. They won't develop it. The actual, as far as new coin posts go, the effort level is a little higher on this one, so... As anything with a feature that's not implemented, I'm more interested in seeing if they can actually implement it. But as far as I know, is there an Ethereum masternode clone yet?
Not that I know of.
Nice.
And also on this, there's no pre-mine, which is nice, right? People are getting into that.
I think that is a no pre-mine situation on Struena as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot to like about this, honestly. What's the algorithm on it? Oh, Ethash, obviously. Yeah. Duh. Yeah, there's a lot to like there. In terms of speculating on it, again, it's a good situation where if they can actually deliver on the futures, they're going to do fine.
So where would you ever think this might get traded at this point?
That's a good question. You got to look out there. Is Liquid still in the game? I don't really trust Liquid, to be honest, but I'm wondering if there's somebody who's listing a lot of ETH tokens, right? But
if you mined this and they listed it, I know you'd still trade there anyway. I'm just wondering if they would.
Like it's if it's a token, then it would obviously be like Ether Delta or something. But I don't know who's going to trade these actual clones.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good question.
It's interesting stuff. I think there's going to be a lot more. Like, there's got to be some smaller exchanges that step up that are affordable for these tokens at some point, or these coins, I mean.
Right.
Cool one, though.
A lot of FUD in the thread. I always like that. People are really just complaining. People complain so much. It's awesome.
Looks like this guy's upset that they didn't compile the wallet for him.
I guess I just complained about the last coin, but
yep, complaining's allowed.
You got to complain. That's really. I think bitching is a really important part of the Bitcoin experience.
All right, let's check out the next coin here.
Struena, next on the list is
Dark Horizon.
Dark Horizon. Oh, Struena had that Go implementation too. That was interesting. We were wondering if that was made by them or if it was something they forked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Dark Horizon is next on the list. Is this a crypto note? I don't think that. No, I think this is a regular, like a Bitcoin legacy coin.
Just super limited supply.
Yeah, I guess the angle they're playing. I think this made the cut here because they're playing the super low supply angle, which everyone's been playing the super high supply angle with because all the low sat coins are pumping, like Verge and all that shit. All that was pumping, and so I think people are gonna remember, if we're gonna repeat history. At the start of 2014, they had like a 42 coin, and there was a couple other coins that had like a really low supply, and the price went way up.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh my god, why is this coin trading for 25 Bitcoins each? It's like, well, because there aren't any. It seems like they're trying to play that angle here with Dark Horizon, but there's really not too much to see. Really generic.
Looks like there was a pretty nice little pre-mine there for him.
The pre-mine's pretty small. Well, it's 0.1%, right? But it's a pretty short. Most of the proof of work distribution's pretty front-loaded.
Gotcha.
So most of the coins will be out in the first few months. It doesn't, as far as the pre-mine structures go, this one's not the worst. But it still does have a pre-mine, so it is what it is. And there's really not a lot to distinguish it other than that.
Real dark horse, huh?
Very Dark Horizon. If you really wanted a Dark Horizon.
Another one to take a look at is VeriBlock.
VeriBlock. They announced this one. Oh, I got the CitrusCash link here.
VBK.
VeriBlock. This is what you call a good-looking announcement. I don't really know any other way to say it. They announced this one 3 days ago.
Yep, this looks nice. Looks like it has proof of work and then their own new thing called proof of proof.
They got it all here. So they got a new consensus system that is called proof of proof. They've got their own new proof of work algorithm that will mine their own blockchain. It's a pre-announcement with a test net, so they announced it with a test net.
Right.
So you can go and mine and test it all. This is basically all of the...
A lot of check boxes.
A lot of checked boxes. A lot of stuff you want to see.
So, can you tell me anything about what proof of proof mining is?
Proof of proof. So the idea is that they're going to use the consensus strength of Bitcoin, like the hashing strength of Bitcoin, to secure other blockchains. The way that you're going to do it is by having the miners sign Bitcoin transactions with data that will be used to validate what's going on these other blockchains.
So a little bit similar to merge mining?
No, I don't think. No, I wouldn't say it's similar to merge mining because in this case, you're actually just kind of dumping stuff onto the Bitcoin. You're sending a Bitcoin transaction with some info in it, basically.
Oh, nice! I see the difference.
So you're actually
You don't actually have to solve a Bitcoin block or be part of solving a Bitcoin block.
Exactly, it's a transaction instead.
Mm-hmm.
So the interesting thing there is that to actually execute the proof of proof and get the get your reward submitted for posting that transaction, you have to be running a Bitcoin wallet and you have to submit a Bitcoin transaction, which can be reasonably expensive. So it'll create a really interesting dynamic for the service. The service, essentially, the idea is that...
And then some of the metadata attached to that transaction you submitted contains information about the VeriBlock blockchain.
Or, in theory, whatever blockchain... The VeriBlock blockchain is supposed to secure other blockchains. So, we have the problem now of proof-of-work chains are constantly under attack, which is, again, going back to the masternode thing, where if people only have 15% proof-of-work reward.
Right, or when every proof-of-work coin got double spent, last year at some point.
Yeah, they're all getting delisted. It's a big problem for them. And so the idea with VeriBlock is that you could... I'm not 100% clear on the economic path of this, but you compensate the VeriBlock chain in some way. And then somebody will post a transaction to the blockchain that validates the chain state of whatever coin is doing that, or whoever wants that state validated. And then they could get a secure picture for that. So it's complicated, but it's an interesting system, and it's coming from... So the good of it, I guess, is that they have a pretty clear path from kind of how they can go from what they're advertising to what would be a working product. It's not like...
Nice.
It doesn't sound like vaporware, I guess, essentially is where I'm going with that.
They're just testing it out, is what you're saying, basically.
Yep, and they got it in testnet. I always love a testnet. Yeah, it's going to be pretty hyped up. It's the sort of thing where if they were to get adoption, it would mean
Do you know what proof-of-work algorithm they're using?
It's called VBlake. It's a variation on Blake that they're using. It'll be a new one. I think they are targeting GPUs for it. So initially, as usual, it'll be CPU only, air quotes. And then somebody will get a GPU miner out for it. I think they're expecting a GPU miner before the launch, the official launch.
Nice. So that's definitely one to check out if you like playing around with newer, cutting-edge coins.
Yep, it'll be fun.
All right, that's VeriBlock.
VeriBlock.
VBK.
Nobody knows when the main net launches.
A little bit on the funnier side, CitrusCash.
Get yourself some CitrusCash.
Was announced.
This is your chance. This is your last chance to get the CitrusCash.
You know the news story that this coin is commemorating, Brando? About the Department of Citrus
the guy in Florida.
Yeah.
I almost forgot about that. Yeah, some dude in Florida got busted for using the whole Citrus department, IT department was he mining Bitcoin? They always mine Bitcoin, which is probably the worst choice.
I don't know what he was mining.
So CitrusCash developed by IT specialists to track citrus prices. The coin itself, it looks like a low effort X11.
Just a cheeky nod to recent events, I guess.
Got that 80% masternode reward.
I remember that being back in the. That's always been a thing with coins. Is got to have those current event coins, right?
You got to keep up with the times, man. Your coins have to.
And they're almost never worth anything.
It's true. I wonder what the most is. Do you think Trump coin is the most successful current event coin?
Trump coin did pretty damn good.
They did pretty. I mean, as far as they go.
All right. Let's see. Anything else about Citrus coin to note?
Nah, the coin itself was nothing.
It's
special.
A really standard coin. X11. 15-minute blocks.
It is 15-minute blocks?
Yep.
That's not standard. That's slow as shit. Nice. All right. CitrusCash. Next on the list, we got Wavi. Wavi? Wavi? WAVI.
This one's claiming some CPU mining on a different algo, which is always intriguing.
Yeah, so what they got here, a new algorithm again. This is where people are driving this home a lot, which is good. It's a higher bar than what we used to have to deal with.
I think it's just the easiest way to get
distinct
people that don't have a lot of mining power onto your coin.
Yeah, and if it just exactly. it puts that little barrier to entry there that makes it a smaller circle.
Mm-hmm.
People love it. So on Wavi, the algorithm is YesScript R32. So that's like the Raven algorithm is YesScript R16. I think it's Raven. This is, I'm assuming, is just a tweak on that. And as far as I know, that's really the main gimmick here. So otherwise, really classic list of features here, man. Masternode, yes. Private send, yes. Premine.
Yeah, nothing too special past a supposedly CPU algo, huh?
So yeah, an algo tweak, and it's got the supernova pool.
Oh, nice.
So it's one that you could try to make a play on it, I guess.
Now you're getting over impos pools these days, right, Brando?
Yeah, I'm into the yimping it a lot. Yimpity. The YIMP things. So the struggle with the YIMP is that you have to have a wallet address, obviously, to plug into the username.
Right.
With the MPOS pool, you create an account, and then they store the coins, and then you have to withdraw them. But then you have to do the due diligence of withdrawing them, and your coins can get tied up, and it's a lot more complicated. So, and the YIMP, their pool interfaces have gotten really good these days. Like whatever this default software they're using, it's come a long way.
Nice. So
I've really been liking it. And then I just do, for running my wallets, I got a big hard drive on just one computer now, so I just do a new VM for everyone. I'm not trying to get clever with it anymore. Just a new virtual machine every time.
Yep. Not a bad choice. Always got to be careful with those wallets no matter what.
Yep, they're nasty. So yeah, keep your network locked down and stuff. If you're running shitcoin wallets, keep your network under control and run them in virtual machines. Yeah, it is what it is.
Okay.
That has nothing to do with Wavi, by the way. I have no specific beef with this coin.
You'd probably still run it in a VM, though, wouldn't you?
Oh, hell yeah.
So,
damn, dude, Bitcoin moving up. It's like $200 since we started. We used to get excited about like $1,000 moves. Now it's like, we're up 200. All right, new coins. That was it. That's it for the new coins. VeriBlock's going to be the biggest one that you're going to hear about this week. Otherwise, I think maybe Struena and Wownero would be my next ones to look at.
Yep, I'm going to be super interested to see just how these coins gain the exposure they used to be able to get more easily.
Yeah,
there's so many coins now, and there's no easy route. Going on Yobit isn't really that great of an idea for your coin if you want to be around for a long time, right? Because the
second the wallet goes offline, the coins are gone forever.
And you can go on a way smaller exchange like Trade Satoshi, probably afford that, but you got Crypto Bridge, you can go on that. That's not a bad option these days. But there's a lot of incidences where coins, especially with newer code bases or unique code bases, just kind of have to find their way. Nano XRB, Rayblock's.
Was that took a year and a half?
Yeah, it took a long time for them to find a place that would be able to put up with the size of their community and the unique problems with their technology.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear that the old pipeline that coins had to get onto the markets is it's not the same as it was. All the exchanges that used to be cheap, like Cryptopia and Coin Exchange, I think are charging crazy amounts. So much that it's like
when Bitcoin was high, it was really funny. That was for sure.
Then it was super insane. But it's there's a point where you can charge so much for a listing that only the worst coins can get listed, if that makes sense. None of the stuff that we talk about can get listed because it doesn't have ICO money or whatever.
Right.
Or it's not just
which often turn out to be the coins that can not only emulate the economics of Bitcoin the best, which were successful, but also just lead to actual innovations in technology, it seems like, in a much more usable way.
It's it's an incentive thing, right? One of the reasons that we latch onto POW and are so I don't know, where I was talking about proof of work coins and shit, is that it at least gives you kind of that bare minimum of investment that people have put into it. That's kind of the whole point of it, right? Is that it shows you that people have put a little bit of their actual investment into it. And the end result is that it makes it harder to subvert than kind of some of these other schemes. Like with masternode auctions, they auction off 2 masternodes and sell 80 to themselves that cost them nothing. And the same thing can happen to ICOs. There's no mechanism in place to prevent that from happening on ICOs. So they kind of have these kind of fundamental issues that people don't really like to talk about, but are still out there.
Yeah.
Not to say that proof of work doesn't have similar fundamental issues, but just the nature of it is that they're reduced, and it kind of, in a lot of ways, forces people to commit to the projects in a more realistic way if they want to extract value out of it.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. They have to actually compete with the miners.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
Part of their own project.
Yep.
Which actually seems to go okay.
So yeah, I guess I'm a curmudgeon in that way.
Curmudgeon it up, my man.
Dude, we're curmudgeon.
Don't worry.
We're curmudgeon it hard. And the nice thing is that proof of work, especially with some of the regulatory concerns and stuff, we're finding people gravitating back towards that direction anyway, just for kind of the market is catching on, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, also, while the Bitcoin price was going up, that was a perfect time to just for people to be doing a bunch of ICOs of things that, just whatever they thought. It was a frenzy for sure.
So there you have it. New coins. Good stuff.
Yeah, new coins. Some interesting ones in there. It's not all bad. Stuff to check out. We used to like to go through all the coin listings on the exchanges, but we don't really feel like doing that right now.
There's too many coins.
One, there hasn't been a lot of interesting listings. Generally, coins used to get listed, a lot every week.
It's true.
Now it's not very much, and the ones that are getting listed seem to be just coming out of left field mostly. Not necessarily things that have strong community interest, just ones that can either afford the process of becoming listed in whatever way for different exchanges or whatever.
Or they show up like, some of the markets we don't really even have good insight to, right? I don't have a good insight into what's going on in some of the overseas markets, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So a lot of these coins just show up, but
we did find a fun list on coinmarketcap.com of what they've been listing, so we thought we might look down that and see if there's anything to kind of mention.
Yeah, CoinMarketCap's blowing up now. Of course, they've had to they realize they can't add everything anymore, so they're trying to impose some kind of order. But we thought it'd be fun to look at this recent thing they came up with, where it's just all the recent stuff added to CoinMarketCap.
Apparently, they won't add anything, but they've added a lot of stuff that I wouldn't even bother clicking on here.
Very difficult to get added unless you're Fluzz.
Exactly.
Fluzz was added 3 days ago. Market cap ? Supply ? What is that? What does that even mean? Higher match, GetX. These are all tokens. Havin, Storica. I don't even know what this stuff is, man. All right, let's see if there's anything in here that I recognize. Raven coin got in there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Raven's more my style. What they got here? What's Raven got here?
Where's that trading?
Crypto Bridge. They're on the bridge.
Nice.
Some people are saying 2018 is going to be like big for DEXs because of all this.
It's just going to be, everything's going to be super competitive in all sorts of ways. Some people are fine with regulation. Like, it doesn't have to kill cryptocurrencies. There's people that won't do it unless it's regulated, Right.
It's funny. People are really worried about regulation, but it's like, it seems like people are still making money in stocks and shit. Like,
and then there'll always be, there's the aspect of cryptocurrencies that you can't regulate. So that's going to exist as well.
Yeah, and there's always going to be the markets that, are kind of out on the edge.
Yeah.
The little guys. Get your DEXs.
So I think we're going to talk about that coin more maybe some other week, right?
Yeah, we got Raven on our list of upcoming coin reviews. Bitcoin Private, there's one. That's that Z. That was the
Zcash.
Z Classic.
Z Classic
swap on that one.
Good one. Ups and
again,
downs.
So many question marks. Everything on here is just like question mark.
I don't know. This list is weird.
True USD. That's the one that's the new peg coin that's on Bittrex.
Yeah. Pretty close.
Referium.
Pretty close to $1.
How do you get it on? I like that people just like they come up with something and then they put Ethereum at the end. I want to get in on that game. How do I capitalize on this? IHT Real Estate Protocol. Good God. Experty.
It's quite a list. I don't know. That you're going pretty far back in time now, though.
Oh, you can. This is funny stuff, man.
Oh, Litecoin Cash. That's one that happened while we were gone. That was kind of funny. Their first fork.
Litecoin Cash is a disappointment for me. The premise was
pointless.
Yeah, they didn't.
Totally
they could have. Why would you make it an SHA fork? Like, they could have forked it to anything. Like anything else, it would have been more fun.
Somebody has to do the Dogecoin proof of stake fork.
Doge
That's
stake.
the one.
You don't think it's out there? It's got to be one of them out there.
Well, if it is, it didn't stick. Need to get people excited about it.
A fresh one.
Need the exchange support.
Light Doge, dark stake. That's pretty much it for that coin market cap list, man.
Yep.
It's tough out there. All right, I think that pretty much is going to tie it up there for the coin stuff. We'll try and we might try and look at some listings as they come in. We'll see how we can structure it.
Yeah, I feel like first time back, we're just kind of getting back into the groove. We'll figure out how to structure the show. Keep it fun for ourselves. Have a good time. It's all going to be good.
We got that YouTube coming up. Did we mention that we're?
No, I don't think we even mentioned it.
Oh, well, we are. We're going to YouTube next week.
Yep.
So we'll have all that shit.
We got the archives up on YouTube now as well.
Oh yeah, he's got tons of YouTube archives. What's the link? Blockchain Dynamics.
We can't.
The link yet.
We can't have a custom link until we get some followers. So we'll get that going.
But yeah, we got the YouTube. So we're gonna do our live broadcast from YouTube. We couldn't do it this week.
No, they have a waiting period, like a 24-hour cooldown waiting period. To make sure that you really want to go live on YouTube.
They don't want you to come in. They don't want you to come into the stream too hot. They cooled you down with the 24 hours. So we're on Mixer this week, but we're going to do live on YouTube next week. Yeah. What else is going on with you, man? You playing any games?
Yep.
What's up with that?
During part of the break, definitely been doing some gaming. Did a little VR gaming. Really like To the Top.
I saw that. It looks really sweet.
And I really liked a game called 4D Toy Box, where you can knock around objects in and out of the fourth dimension, play with that perspective. Nice,
man. I got that Nintendo Switch. I've been having a lot of fun with that. Mostly just playing Mario Kart, which apparently I thought the Mario Kart was like new, so it was like, oh, this new sweet Mario Kart. It's like the 4-year-old Mario Kart from the last one, but I'm still playing a shitload of it. Otherwise, a little bit of that Fortnite.
Oh, yeah, of course.
A little Factorio. Having some fun. Now, what else? Do we have any birthdays?
Yep, got one birthday for you that I could find. 1 year happy birthday to Honeycoin.
Honeycoin. I don't know anything about Honeycoin.
Which came out March 11th, 2017. This is one that had a Bitcoin Garden first post.
Nice.
Those were kind of almost a trend for a little bit there.
They were like a novelty for a while, and then you kind of realize that it's probably not a...
Eventually, people have to post them somewhere else to get the actual attention, and then people are kind of like, why didn't you post it here first,
It's not like there's like any amazing projects where anyone's like, oh, I'm going to Bitcoin Garden first.
But it's a pretty standard...
Usually just random.
Basic proof of stake coin, I think.
All right, yep. So that's Honeycoin.
Happy birthday.
But they did it 1 year. Congratulations. Happy birthday to y'all in the Honeycoin land. And there you have it. That's going to wrap it up. Blockchain Dynamics, episode number 86.
That's right.
Really happy to be back. Hope y'all enjoyed the show.
Yep.
Like we said, we got a lot of fun stuff coming up. Doing the YouTube thing. Yeah, it's going to be sweet.
We're going to try to keep it going. So, as Brandon said, this was episode number 86, Error by Trial Radio. We'll see you next week with way heavier bags.
Peace.
Currency.
A couple Bitcoins.
Money,
Pull up on my Nakamoto.